Obtaining
that's cool
shipments
too.
will run 300,000 credits of in-game money.
God damn, hold up now. I mean, no, that's fire still. Alright guys, we are back with another reaction. This one is this DLC won't be in Mass Effect Legendary Edition and Exploration of Pinnacle Station. I thought the Legendary Edition had all the DLCs, so I'm very interested on why they didn't add this one.
We'll be getting the remastered Mass Effect trilogy complete in one package with all its DLC. Well,
Fire.
almost all of its DLC.
Shit, that shit
in
was
this
fire.
video will be all its DLC. Well, almost
BioWare explains Pinnacle Station DLC exclusion from Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Heartbreaking.
all of its
Heartbreaking.
DLC. In this video, we'll be exploring an overlooked DLC campaign that will not be in Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Of course, I'm talking about the 2009 expansion to Mass Effect 1 called Pinnacle Station. We'll be taking a look at the story and gameplay for this DLC and discussing why it's being excluded from BioWare's upcoming remaster. Keep watching to discover all about this forgotten DLC. What's up, everyone? Big Dan here. Before we begin, I have a bunch of different Mass Effect Trilogy guides and lore videos on my channel.
Right, he
If you're
does.
interested in seeing more, hit that subscribe button.
Big man Dan.
Without further ado, let's dive right in. Pinnacle Station was originally released in August 2009 as the second expansion to the original Mass Effect game. Development for the expansion was outsourced to a Boston-based company called Demiurge Studios, and thus, a team of massholes was recruited to make a Mass Effect DLC. Herein lies the reason for its exclusion from Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
So it's like
BioWare
it looks
began
like a
development
simulator.
On the remaster, they discovered they no longer had the source code for Pinnacle Station. They tried reaching out to everyone they knew and eventually obtained a source code package from the studio. But unfortunately, the data they received was corrupted. This meant that in order to rebuild the station in Legendary Edition, BioWare would have needed to rebuild the whole thing from scratch, which they estimated would take around 6 months of development time. In the end, they decided to scrap
that's not
Mass
worth it
Effect
for a
Legendary
DLC.
Edition without including Pinnacle Station. When I learned that Pinnacle Station was developed by another studio, my first thought was, oh, it all makes sense now, because Pinnacle Station has a completely different feel to it than any other content in the Mass Effect trilogy, and not necessarily in a good way. BioWare's games are known for their stories, character development, and choices that the player can explore. Well, you can forget all about that when you play Pinnacle Station, because there's basically no storyline or character development in this expansion.
Wait, you can't say it's that different though from anything else Mass Effect does, because there's Armax Arena, and I don't know if that was, I think that might have been Citadel DLC. I don't think that was with the base game. But Mass Effect 3, Armax Arena, and I spent so much time in that. I think I actually uploaded it. I think it was its own little part where I grinded through everything, I unlocked everything, I got all the emails, did all the missions. I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
DLC begins with an invitation to Commander Shepard to travel to a Spectre military training facility on Pinnacle Station. The station is run by Admiral Ahern, a decorated Alliance officer and veteran of the First Contact War.
And that means a lot, considering I usually don't really like Mass Effect combat. But I guess it was just like, I don't know. It was just like, you just complete it. You know what I mean? It was just like, complete it. Do your best. It was like, it didn't feel like a transition to more cutscenes, which is what I liked, which is why I didn't really like the combat as much, or at all, really, in any of the Mass Effect games. I was more like, all right, I'm just fighting these people to get to the next cutscene because that's where I want to go. I want to go meet the new characters. I want to continue the quest. But Armax Arena, it was like, just beat these guys. And you have a point system. You know what I mean? Like, I like that. I don't know. I enjoyed it more than the other combat situations.
To speak with the Solarian Akron, who will give us an overview of the station's
or at least a lot of the
simulator.
combat situations.
This is the core gameplay of the DLC, completing combat simulation trials and trying to obtain the top score in each category. There are 4 different
that sounds fun.
trials, which Akron gives us the rundown on: capture, survival, hunt, and time trial.
It would have been more fun if the combat was better, but I still enjoyed it. At least in Mass Effect 3. It was cool.
I assume the enemies are also holographic?
No. Our operatives train in a simulator by killing real, actual people. They're simulated. However, the kinetic slugs hurt just the same.
What am I supposed to be doing in these simulations?
That depends on the combat mode. We have time trial, capture, hunt, and survival modes.
See, that's fire. The fact that there's different modes, because Armax didn't have different modes.
What are the
Even though you can switch up a lot of things in it.
capture mode objectives?
Capture all designated control points as quickly as possible. The faster you capture all the control points, the higher your score.
What's survival mode all about?
Fend off waves of enemies for as long as possible. When the squad leader goes down, the mission ends. The longer you survive, the higher your score.
What's the goal in the hunt mode?
Defeat as many enemies as you can before the countdown timer reaches 0. You get additional time for every enemy you defeat. The more enemies you kill, the higher your score.
What's my mission in time trial mode?
You and your squad must defeat all enemies as quickly as possible. The quicker you defeat all the hostiles, the higher your score.
Out of the 4 challenges, I would have to say that Capture was probably my favorite one. Hunt was pretty fun too, but stressful when enemies weren't spawning in fast enough. Survival was a bit of a slog, and Time Trial was decent too. While you're doing the trials, Ahern will update you on your progress.
That's funny. I think I would have liked Survival the most, to be honest.
And Time Trial was decent too. While you're doing the trials, Ahern will update you on your progress over the comms and roast you if you're struggling, saying things like, "There's no award for most time shot."
But there's no award for most time shot.
There are also 4 different maps, many of which are very similar to locations in the base game. There's Tropical, which is essentially Vermeer,
Might as well use them, right?
Subterranean, and a warehouse. Each combat simulation is available on 3 of the maps. The warehouse map is only used in the time trial challenge, while the others are reused on multiple simulations. Once you've completed your first trial, you'll be treated to a brief cutscene with the big bad of the DLC, a grumpy Turian named Vidinos.
Back off, Vidinos. I haven't done anything wrong. If you've tampered with government equipment, Bryant, I'll have you thrown in the stockade.
What seems to be the problem?
Get lost, Shepard. This doesn't concern you.
Vidinos is just mad because a human beat his record.
Shut your mouth, hollow junkie. Bryant says he scored highest in missions from multiple combat modes. No human's ever done that. He clearly cheated.
I could beat any of those scores without cheating.
I'm sure it'll be entertaining to watch you try. Tell you what, Shepard. You beat my record and Bryant won't spend the rest of the competition in the stockade. If you even come close, I'll give you my weapon.
Oh, that's fire.
Good challenge.
That's a fire reward for doing that. I thought it was just going to be like bragging rights, you know, you complete the mission, whatever. Oh, yeah, another thing that I liked about the RMAX Arena, at least, and I think I would have liked with the original Mass Effect. Not really, because I really did not like the Mass Effect combat. The original Mass Effect combat. The others were better, at least, you know? But what I liked was in Mass Effect 3, with all the different weapons you had and stuff, you could kind of switch out your weapons because they had the armory right there. And you could switch it out and test out all these different weapons on actual aliens or simulations, whatever. Which, like, because the Spectre, like, training range, it didn't do what I needed it to do. Like, I needed to know it wasn't the same as actually fighting people. So I like the RMX Arena a lot. Like, I think that's probably the thing I really liked the most about it. It was the fact that I could test all these different weapons that did all these different things and had all these different upgrades on actual opponents. Love that. And it made me learn things that I probably would have taken several missions for me to learn about certain weapons. Like, there was one weapon where, like, it kind of, the bullet guided itself to the enemy, but when they're taking cover, you can't shoot their head. It'll just hit the cover because it just heat seeks to the center of their body. But even if you add wall penetration, the bullet still won't go through the wall. So, you know, there's little stuff like that.
I suppose many humans find failure fun. If so, then this is your lucky day. I hope Brian has something to read. He'll be in that stockade for a long time.
After this, my mind started racing about story possibilities, because, you know, it's a Mass Effect game, so the story...
Not every DLC needs story, in my opinion. Some DLC could just be cool from the gameplay side of things. Granted, I get what he's saying, like, the Mass Effect is very big on story, and the original Mass Effect combat fucking sucks. So, I get that for sure.
He's got to be there at some point, right? No. Maybe Vidinos will stage a coup and try to take over the station in protest for getting cheated by a human. And maybe this will tie in some elements of the First Contact War, with Shepard trying to smooth over relations between the Turians and humans and restore order on the station. But no, nothing like that happens. You just beat Vidinos' scores, and he gives you a new gun of your choice as a reward.
That's fire. I love that. I love that.
Which I used as my main gun for the rest of my playthrough.
Well, there you go.
Of this soon enough. Bryant is clear. Keep your smug grin to yourself. I'm out of here.
Not before I get that weapon.
Fine. But I expect remuneration when I expose your fraudulent win for what it was.
I'll take that assault rifle.
Go ahead. Thing's a piece of garbage anyway. Enjoy the burn when it blows up in your hand.
Once you've posted first place in all 12 challenge and location combinations, Ahern will give you a rundown on his super special Spectre simulation that virtually reenacts a mission he experienced during the First Contact War.
That's cool.
Reenactment of one of my missions. We held off an ambush of Turian assault troops back during the Contact War. Just me and...
Now that I think about it, low key, I don't know if Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3 combat, it's better. It feels better for sure. But how much better is it? Because there are definitely some times where I'm like, I'm on cover, you know, not with my own free will. Actually, I sprinted into it. And then I would aim. I'll talk about this during my whole playthrough. So
I haven't finished programming it yet, but it's close enough. You can try it if you like.
Keep going.
The rules are simple. Survive until you're picked up, if you can. You'll be ridiculously outnumbered. No real cover to speak of. It's the ultimate worst-case scenario. Of course, it'll only be a simulation.
Then up the difficulty. I don't want it easy.
You got balls, Shepard, but it's still just a simulation. Even our best VIs aren't as good as the real thing.
And turn off the safeties.
No safeties.
ooh,
Highest level of difficulty, you'll never do it. And then I'll have to explain how a Spectre died on my station.
that's funny as hell.
What do you want to bet?
A wager, huh? Yeah. Okay. I've got a nice little retirement place on Entice. I never go there, and I don't plan on retiring anytime soon. It's yours if you can beat it. And what do you
That's
wager?
fire.
My life.
Right. So you really want to see
That's funny as hell.
It's getting logged as user error.
That's actually
I'm not
funny.
losing my job over this.
What's this place like?
Quiet, remote. You've practically got the whole planet to yourself. I got a
Wow.
brochure from Exogeny, and they dropped a prefab down in Entice for me, here in the Argus Row cluster. The weather is terrible, but they tell me it's a red paradise, whatever that means. What do you say?
Set it up.
Talk to Akron. I'll make sure he gets the new settings. I'd say good luck, but you'll need a lot more than that.
All right, get ready, boys. The Turians will be here any second. Guys? Yeah, so when I first booted up the simulation, the game bugged out and didn't spawn any enemies. So I reloaded to save, and I gotta say, yeah, this challenge is pretty tough. You'll be swarmed on all sides by enemies, and they are aggressive. You won't be able to remain in cover in one spot for too long before a hologram runs up right behind you. Your squad mates will also likely go down like a sack of bricks, so be sure to keep that metagel handy and use Unity to revive them. You'll have to survive for 5 whole minutes before successfully completing the trial. After it's all said and done, you get a snazzy new apartment as a reward.
Oh, that's fire!
Though there really isn't much of a reason to visit here after your first time.
I believe it.
The apartment
I
you
believe
received
it.
in Mass Effect 3's Citadel DLC, this apartment is out in the middle of nowhere in the Argus Row cluster. In addition to the apartment, you'll also be able to purchase special weapon shipments that were initially intended for Admiral Ahern. Obtaining
that's
all
cool,
shipments
too.
will run 300,000 credits of in-game money.
God damn, hold up now. I mean, no, that's fire still. Because I think I ended the game, like, you can end the game with a lot of fucking money. 300,000 ain't shit.
Unfortunately, the only way to discover what weapon or item you will receive is to just purchase them. In my case, I received a biotic amp, which I couldn't equip on my main character, an omni tool, which I also couldn't equip on my main character, and a
Yeah,
set of
you got
Krogan
squad
armor,
mates.
which was useless for me because this was the run where I didn't recruit Rex. Check out.
Oh,
my
that's
video, by the way, if you
hilarious.
haven't seen it already. So this set of
Oh, that's cool though. Still, because I don't think I got much Krogan armor. I feel like compared to the human
rewards
armor
was a complete
and the amount of people that can use the human armor. I don't
bust
know.
for me. Ah, well,
don't remember.
the apartment was pretty cool, I guess, and so was the assault rifle I got from Vadinos.
Yeah, I would have
When
been
it was all
hyped.
said and done, the entire Pinnacle Station DLC took me a little over an hour to complete. Overall,
Oh!
the experience was all right. It's not a can't-miss experience.
That's fire. That's dude. For considering how little you're getting, even though you're still getting stuff, an hour. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. For this, I would have done that in a heartbeat. There were definitely. It was fire. I mean, I think it's fire. I think it's cool.
By
I would have been
any stretch of
happy.
The imagination, and it's definitely the weakest DLC in the entire trilogy. But if you enjoy the combat of Mass Effect 1 and you like this style of cookie-cutter combat challenges, then you might enjoy Pinnacle Station. At the end of the day, I'm not too broken up over the fact that this isn't in Mass Effect Legendary Edition. To be honest, I would probably just skip the DLC anyway, even if it were included, since I truly feel like I've already experienced everything it has to offer. So there you have it, the story of Pinnacle Station, Mass Effect's Forgotten DLC. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to Big Dan Gaming for more Mass Effect and RPG videos. Until next time, this has been Big Dan. I should go.
All right, well, there you go. Pinnacle Station DLC. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like the video. If you didn't, try another video. Maybe like that one. Go to original video, leave a like. Other than that, keep your head up. Peace.
I'll walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I fear no evil because I'm blind to it all.